Hi, okay, it's Mrs. Cheney here. We're going to start with some little exercises. This week you're going to do a couple little paintings. The first one is the painting of a spoon. This shouldn't take you very long. I'm going to do a demonstration. I shared with you in this slideshow some images of spoons, and I want you to choose from one of these. Here's one, here are the other two. The reason I want you to choose these is not find your own photo and not get a real spoon and put in front of you. I want you to paint from one of these. There's something to be learned about painting from a photograph of a painting because the painting has brush strokes that show. Like you can see where the white hits, where the gray is, where the darker gray. And it's not about the values, but it's how an artist did this. How did an artist paint these streaks? I'm going to go with this photo. All right, I like this spoon in particular. And when we look at it, yes, there's grays, but this is a greenish gray. And then I've got a blue gray. I almost see a little pink in there. I see a taupey tan color. Of course, grays and whites and black. Okay, so that's the reference that I'm going to use. And I cropped it because that fork was a little distracting to me. So I cropped it off and I slid that beside on the camera other things that we've got going on here. I took a piece of that canvas paper that I gave you, okay? That's the kind that's not watercolor paper. It has canvas on one side, okay? And it's primed on the other. And I cut it into 4 sections, okay? So throwing that aside, here's one of my little sections. So that's how tiny you're going. Mine is approximately 4 by 5 inches. I'm going to put it on top of this green paper so that you get a feel for colors and so that the lights aren't as distracting to you, okay? Because my camera's having some problems on the black surface. I'm going to take masking tape. I like the crisp, clean edges of tape. Move my palette a minute. And I'm going to tape it down to this green piece of paper that I found. You can use, don't tape right to your table, okay? It'll be hard to get it off. You can use a piece of newspaper, an old magazine, a junk mail. Tape it down onto something, okay? So that if you have excess around the edges, you'll get paint on that surface and not on your table, okay? I always paint on top of something. I just happen to choose this green paper because it's what I found. Okay, and I'm going to push this aside so you can see. I'm having some lighting issues today. I have tried the lamp. I think that's worse. I think it's better just to leave it off. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do, I have this cup of water up here, my yogurt cup or my sour cream cup, and I'm going to put some water on my palette, all right, next to my paints, some water. I'm going to drag some of the umber and some of the burnt sienna there and make it like a watercolor, all right? I'm going to take this and I'm going to first do my underpainting on here. So I'm going to slap some of this color on here. And I'm going to tone it. Why did I go with brown? I always go with brown. It gives you a nice base, all right? I'm going to blot it with a paper towel. That leaves some cool texture. You don't want to paint right on white. Blech. The white is distracting. It's like an old wives' tale. And this does have to be fairly dry before you start. So I'm grabbing my hairdryer. Okay, good enough. Giving it a little zap. Now, using that same paint, but this time I'm going to make it a little bit thicker. So I'm going to drag a little more paint. I did grab a smaller brush. And so I can get some lines. Now I'm going to look at my spoon and I am going to draw it on here, the shape of the spoon. So I'm just blocking it in. I'm drawing with paint. I'm not drawing with a pencil because pencil shows through. Okay. I know that on the cupcakes I had you do it, but honestly I was struggling with the whole hybrid thing. The whole hybrid and the online, and I really didn't give you a chance to do this. So I'm drawing my spoon. and I'm coming to realize that it's not going to fit on my paper. So Miss Jeannie makes mistakes too. We're going to wash it off. That's what's cool about it. You can redo. I'm going to blot it. I guess I could blow dry it. All right, now I've got to study my photo a little bit. It's difficult to look off the camera and then back to my paper because my paper is also reflecting on the camera. Okay, let's split this in half. First of all, spoons down the middle. Okay, I do want my spoon down the middle, even though I didn't crop this side. Where is halfway between here and here? We're not halfway the spoon, but halfway in my paper. Right there. That's the halfway mark. Okay, so on my paper, that's the halfway mark. That's where that handle needs to be. So let's try this again. If that's where my handle needs to be, I need to move my spoon up. I am not Bob Ross. I can't paint super quick. Okay, I'm going to get you going on this, and then I'm going to let you go. Let's see. I'm keeping that little cursor there in the middle so I can see where it's at. It is important that you actually paint or draw in everything with the paint and not a pencil so that it doesn't show through. All right, let's look at width here. The spoon, let's see, the end of the spoon, if I draw a line straight down, it doesn't quite hit this. It's a little further out. So let's see. I think I need to make my spoon a little bit bigger. I'm going to adjust it. I'm hitting my palette. Very limited space here. I am right-handed, so I do keep my palette on the right, but it has to be closer than normal. Yeah, I'm a little happier with that. All right, now, when you paint back to front, right? You paint back to front. So we're going to start with the background. And this is pretty dry to the touch. And then I've been recording, 7 minutes so far. So not to make this really, really long, but now I'm going to move to my flat brushes. I am a flat brush queen. I like the flat brushes. Now, what's the color of that background? Let's see. I'm going to pull a little white off my palette. Put some white down. I got to add some water. My white's been sitting here a while. It's really thick. Okay, what color? Let's see. Obviously, I'm going to pull some of this brown into it. I'm going to pull some umber into it. I think I need a little yellow. Yellow oxide. Okay, I like that as a base. A little more yellow. Ooh, too much yellow. Put a little brown in there. There we go. Now I'm getting something. Now I'm going to take that same paint on my brush, and then over here, I'm going to add a little more brown to it. And my burnt sienna to it, so that I have a darker value of that one. Okay, this is still on my brush, and let's pull some white into this so that I have a lighter value of it. So I have a light, a medium, and a dark. Okay, of the same tone. I'm going to wipe my brush off. I have too much paint on it. Okay, now I'm going to start with my background. I'm going to take my medium tone and I'm going to paint in my background. Didn't quite make enough. Let's see, when I look at the photograph, I see a little bit more yellow here and I see a shadow here. So let's pull a little bit more yellow. Need more paint anyway. on this side. I'm kind of scrubbing. Shouldn't be doing that, but honestly, I'm trying to get my paint to last. Oop, that got a little light. Do like that there. I like how the artist shows little strokes, like you can see this here, and you can see these lines kind of go straight, and down here there's some brush strokes. That's the kind of thing I'm studying. I don't really want to get it on my spoon, but if I do, I do. It's not that big of a deal. But I want my background to be a little painterly, so I'm going to play around with my paint. Okay, now I'm going to pull some darks in. My dark color. Taking some of this wash that I used earlier on my spoon. Using some of that too to make my background interesting. All right, now I need a cast shadow under my spoon. That is this thing right here. And I'm almost seeing a gray. So a little more dark so that I have some unity. I don't want that harsh of a shadow right there. And I just got too much over here. Okay, I'm going to pull, I'm not using black, I'm using this umber, this dark chocolate brown color. I need to switch brushes, need something tinier. And I'm going to put, I have paint all over my arm. I just made it worse. I kind of lost the shape of my spoon here, so I'm going to go back and fix that. It's darker there anyway. And then that shadow is not right up against the spoon. It's kind of over to the side a little bit. Okay. I don't want to make this video too long. What am I up to? 13 minutes? Well, you can keep watching if you want to, or you can hit stop and you can decide whether or not you want to just look at the final product, because I will post that on here. I don't like how sometimes the paint gets bumpy because of the canvas. So if that happens, I tend to add more of the light, or I even add water to it. Like I'll dip into my water and water down my paint, because that's the dry brushing that I speak of, and I don't really care for dry brushing. Okay, I see a shadow down here too. So move my cursor out of the way. Again, I lost the shape of my spoon. Whoop, almost dipped in the black. It's like a mixture of umber that I'm using and that cream from the background and stuff like that. Okay, there's something here I'm not happy with. I'm not happy with the fact that this shadow goes all the way up. When I look at my photograph, it's not like that. I'm going to make this darker. Got to be bold. Need a little more contrast. And I'm going to make it darker right here. there, and there. And it looks like right in here, that area, I need to mute it out a little bit. I'm gonna wash my brush and pick up some of that light stuff and mute it out, wash it out. Now I got too gray. Can't win. Gotta go back and forth. This painting is just playing with it till you like it, to be honest with you. Okay, and look at my photo. What else I got going on? This shadow here comes out a little bit more than I have it. All right, so my finger a little bit. I think I'm gonna water it down. Yeah, I'm gonna do a wash there. Remember the washes that I showed you guys, glazing? Yeah, the glazing works. Play with it till I like it. Okay, what else I've got going on? I do like this dirty corner. I almost want to do one down here, but that's not what's in the picture. There's a dirty area here. Okay, I think I'm okay with that. Now I've got to move on to my spoon. Let's see. I need to paint the dark light, just like going away from me and working towards me. I see this gray here, but the tinge of green in it. All right, so I'm going to take these grays that I've been using. I got to add a little water. It's drying on me. And I'm going to put a little green into it off of my palette. You can't see my green down below. I'm going to use some of that cheapy green, this stuff, and make a greenish gray. And my hand is yucky. I'm going to put it right here. A greenish gray. Yeah. And that starts to go up into this area. It's like I'm blocking in color. Where else? I've got some dark here, some dark here, and then some of that green gray I'm going to continue down here as well. When I start with light washes, and then I start building my way up. Then in my spoon, I see a browner color, okay? That's the burnt sienna, my favorite color, and I use that in the wash. So I'm going to take some burnt sienna and put that in my grays, okay? I don't do anything, just one color. I always mix it into the other dirt. Looks like it does something like this. I'm concerned that this is getting too long. And that's going down this way. Now I'm going to start adding white to my spoon. I need a little more gray. I haven't touched the black. My computer keeps wanting to do an update. And I'm going to tell you right now that these first coats that I put on, that's just the beginning. Like, I'm going to go back and do more and more layers of it till I get it nice and thick. I like the paint thick. Okay, I think I'm going to stop the video here, and then I'm just going to keep painting. And when I'm finished, I will post it on YouTube. I will post it I have to put it in YouTube, and then I'm going to take the video and post it on Schoology for you. I actually have a YouTube channel. I don't know if you guys have found it yet. It's called Once Upon a Time, Melissa Cheney. I have art history stuff in there. I have all that stuff. And I've been putting it in the channel for you guys to, so that I can upload it into Schoology. And that way I have all these videos in case I need them next semester. I'm trying to save myself some work. I have a feeling next semester I'll be continuing to paint this way. And you can see that I'm kind of going back and I'm adding more. And I've got, there's a white edge right there. Okay, I'm getting there on my spoon, but I need a lot more contrast yet. I think I even have to make this shadow darker. But I'm going to pause this for now and turn some lights on so I can kind of see what I'm doing and see if I can get any better with it. And I will post my picture of the finished product. But I think you get the gist.